What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This video is going to be a banger because Go sucks. Of course not. So for the people that don't know, this is basically a video that has been requested for multiple times now. Is why do I need to basically move to another language instead of using Go for my client, right? And what is the language I basically picked? Is it C++? Is it Odin? Is it Zig? I basically used all of them, and you want to see if you want to know what kind of a what language it will be. Definitely, you need to basically check. Need to stick around, right? Don't leave, okay? For the people, but before we continue, for the people that like the videos I am providing, consider subscribing to my channel. You would do me an enormous favor, so I can make grandma proud. Reaching 100k subscribers by the end of the year, actually, till the summer would be a much better goal. So don't forget to like and subscribe to the video and join the Discord community. The links are in the description, right? So first of all, for the people that are just watching and have no clue what Market Monkey is a project that I'm building kind of on the side, which basically you can have access to the source code. Check the link down in the description as well if you want to learn all the journey and have insider access and all that things. Check the link down in the description, right? It's pretty amazing. So Market Monkey is a trading terminal and for cryptocurrencies, right? And it's basically divided in two parts. We have a backend, which is Golang. And it's built with actors and it's distributed and it's amazing, okay? But we also have a client, and the client, the front end, so to say, right? And the client, it's very important that it's going to be a native desktop app, right? It's going to run on the desktop, okay? But it's also important that I can compile that desktop app, that code, into WASM, into a WebAssembly module that I can run in the browser, right? It's very important from a business perspective, and I just want that. That's something that I want. And when I started writing Market Monkey, I was using the Odin engine, right? Odin engine, basically, which is in Golang. It's a very, very good. It's not. You can say it's a game engine, but it's a very minimalistic one. But it completely uses pure Go. It does not use a C Go, so you can actually compile it to WASM. Which basically solved my problem, right? I could have my backend in Golang, I could have my client desktop in Golang, I could compile it to WASM, run it in the browser, everything in Golang, my favorite language. Man, this is a dream, okay? And that's what I did. And it worked very well until a certain point of time. So you need to understand that the things that I'm building with Market Monkey, you can check videos about it on my channel. It's pretty complex, right? Especially the UI, there's a lot of shit going on. A lot of stuff needs to be drawn on the screen. A lot of computations as well on the client. And what I noticed after adding and adding more features to the application is that things are acting slow. Not so to speak on the desktop side of things, but more on the WASM side of things. And these things need to be on par. Okay, that WASM is not going to perform at the native speed as desktop. We all agree on that. But still, it was a big difference, right? And why is that? So basically, when you compile Go to WASM, it's also going to compile its whole runtime and garbage collector into that WASM blob, right? So it's going to be a large blob, but that's okay. I mean, 20, 25, 30 megabytes, 20 megabytes, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You watch too much other stuff, XXX, that's way more megabytes you're gonna download, right? So that's not a big of a deal. The problem is the runtime. The interop between Go and JavaScript is basically a little bit scuffed and causes a lot of CPU hassle, and it's just... It's slow, right? But, okay, cool. I noticed that. I basically was expecting that. And I was thinking, okay, I will basically turn my functions inside down, cache everything, try to minimize computations, put a little bit of AI on top of that, double checking, improving. But still was not what I wanted, right? So I reached out to the maintainers from a Bitengine, talk to some people in the community from Golang, and there's basically nothing we can do about it. It's just something we need to live with that, right? But if you take this, people say, okay, why don't you use TinyGo? That's also an option because TinyGo basically compiles to WASM and without the runtime and all the other shenanigans. The problem is that TinyGo doesn't basically, a Bitengine doesn't compile with TinyGo because it uses reflection, and TinyGo cannot handle that. So it basically, you can already see that I was stuck, right? I'm just completely stuck. And it makes a lot of sense because the things that I want to do are very niche, right? They are very niche, and Go is just not made for that, right? If you want to do something that I actually was planning to do or still planning to do, we all can agree that Golang for the client side, for the backend, it's amazing, right? Golang, networking, distributed actors, it's amazing, and I would never drop that for anything else. But for the client, it's game over, right? And it makes sense. Go is just not made for that, as simple as it is. And that's basically on me, right? I'm the only one to blame here. Made a bad decision. I thought I could pull it off, but I couldn't. So now I'm here, and instead of being demotivated, I needed to search for solutions. So first of all is, some people say, hey, why don't you use I'm GUI? And I know I'm GUI a bit, but basically never actually investigated it. And for the people that don't know what I'm GUI is a C++ library, immediate GUI, basically, which basically draws UIs in immediate mode. It's just amazing. Without any state, it's cool. It's nice. So I said, okay, cool. Now that we need to swap from Go, although Go has I'm GUI bindings, but again, you cannot compile it to WASM. Yada, yada, yada. I've been there. Let's just forget that idea. So what is the solution? We need to pick another language, right? So in my opinion, if I need to pick another language, it's either going to be C++ itself, right? It's going to be Rust, Zig, or Odin. There are a lot of other languages, I completely agree, but I mean, yeah, okay. We can just pick them all, right? So first of all, Rust is completely out of scope. I don't like Rust. I will never like Rust. It's just my personal preference. Is it a bad language? It's probably not a bad language. It has some cool ideas, but in my opinion, it's a little bit too big. It tries to do a little bit too much, and I'm a simple man. I'm also a boomer, turning 39 this year, so Rust is out of the equation. Point fini, okay? So then we have Zig. I never wrote Zig in my whole life, and I tried it on stream, and I'm gonna say that Zig is a pretty amazing language, right? It's still a bit rough on the edges, like tooling and all that stuff is a little bit, it's a little bit rough, but the build system of Zig is the best build system that was ever created on the whole planet in a language. It's just amazing, right? You specify some libraries, you could just specify some C header files and all that bullshit, and it's going to compile, link everything together, create automatic bindings for it, and you're done. Easy peasy. I saw a Zig Sokol MGUI repository. I cloned that, I tried it, and everything just worked. I'm GUI with implot. Implot is a plotter for I'm GUI, for charts and all that shenanigans, which is amazing, especially for what I'm going to do. And it all just worked. It compiled to WASM with Mscripten. It was amazing. The problem is, in my opinion, these languages they are not for me. Although it's a nice language, and it's an amazing language. So if you want to learn a language and you don't have no clue what to learn Zig or something. You know what I mean? It's a very cool language, but it's not for me. It's just a way too much sugar. I don't like sugar. I'm lean. I want to stay lean. You know what I mean? It's too much sugar, and that's personal preference again. And you're gonna hear that a lot. It's a personal preference. I just don't like it that much. It's better as Rust, that's for sure, but I just don't like it. Okay, so, but it works. Everything just works. And if I picked Zig, we were already been gaming. You know what I mean? But hey. On the other side, we have Odin language. And a lot of people don't know Odin because it's like this hidden gem, in my opinion. The Odin language, it writes like Go. It looks like Pascal. It's just Pascal-ish, Go-ish style, C-ish style, in my opinion. My favorite low-level language, by far. I've been writing Odin for like 2 years or something, especially for games and toy projects. I also wrote like a simple editor in that. It's on my Patreon, I guess. At least a couple episodes of that. So I know Odin well, and it just writes the same thing. Like I have something in my mind and I can just write it. That's why I like Go a lot, right? Because I could just basically reflect my ideas in my mind on my screen without thinking of how do I need to do this, how many ways, just one way. And in Odin, it's just the same thing. That's why I like it so much. So the problem that I have right now, and it's a little bit of a journey and a little bit of a struggle, not gonna lie, but I think that true struggle is where you create a lot of progress, a lot of knowledge. The problem with Odin is that the build system is a little bit, you need to do a lot of stuff yourself, right? And although I have something working, it's still kind of not there where it needs to be, because I am missing C implode bindings, and eventually we actually managed to get them to work. But now I have a problem with the socle, with that. So basically, I'm GUI is this UI framework, right? But I'm GUI doesn't draw things on the screen, right? I'm GUI uses the concept of a backend, a rendering backend, and there are a lot of rendering backends you can use, right? So you could use the Ibitten backend in Golang is also an I'm GUI backend. You could use Raylib, you could use SDL2, Vulkan, DirectX, all that stuff, and you can also use the Socle backend, right? Socle is a very, very low level. Well, it's a cross-platform thing to draw stuff and handle events. You can check that out. And why do I need Socle? Because Socle compiles to WASM very easily. And that was very important. You can see the WASM is the biggest culprit, right? But that's what I need, right? And I don't want to basically change my mind on the WASM build. And we have some problems with the I'm GUI backend for Socle on Odin. I don't know what it is. It's probably a skill issue. But I will figure it out. I'm very, very determined to figure it out. Like I said before, I could basically just do something simple like JavaScript and write my application in that, and I could get some users, but that's not what I want. I'm not here for the short run. I have this vision in my mind where I want the application to be. If it's tomorrow, that's nice. If it's in 3 months, I don't care, right? It's just my vision, and I want to build exactly what I had in mind. And I want to build it with a language that I basically enjoy writing it, because that's the most important thing, right? For me, money is important, of course, because that's basically what puts food in your kid's mouth. But by the end of the day, waking up with a lot of joy, working on a project is very important. And I don't think any other language would basically fulfill that joy that I want. Ideally, I could write everything in Go, but that's not possible, unfortunately. Go creators, man, Go maintainers, a lot of people already basically just complained about that. Like, if they just could have this more low-level abstraction for Go, for these niche things, I don't understand. The majority of the people don't need it, but if you need it, it's very annoying that they made a compiler in such a way that they cannot change it that easily. That's what they say, right? They really want to have... because the thing is, WASM also will allow languages to have, I think it's multi-threading that they are going to do, and also garbage collecting. And people suggested that on the Go official GitHub repo, but they just can't change the compiler that easily without breaking stuff, right? And that's the problem. And sometimes to make things better, you need to break it first, right? But they don't want to do that. Fair enough. I can respect that, and that's the problem, right? So how do we proceed here? So basically, I wrote a lot of stuff in Odin right now. Everything is basically set up. I wrote my own WebSockets and all that stuff because it was not there. Also, a little bit of a con of Odin. It's like there is nothing. There's no tooling, right? You know what I mean? But it's not a big of a deal. The language is very familiar for me, so it's okay. The problem is that I'm still a little bit scuffed, a little bit fucked, actually. Maybe I should beep that word out, but I think you're all mature enough to put that in context. Is that I'm still a little bit fucked with my bindings right now. And I'm not basically a specialist in linking and understanding everything low level. And I do not really put myself through this hustle. If I just use Zig, then I was already gaming. You know what I mean? But I really want to go through this struggle because I'm learning a lot as well. right? And that's for me also very important. I'm learning a lot, and I think, like I said before, going to struggle, put yourself in an uncomfortable position can really benefit you from a knowledge base, right? And that's something that if my brain is not getting how do you call that? Like, if I don't have any stimulants for my brain, I get bored. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm doing this. So basically, I will figure it out, guys. No worry. You're going to see me writing a lot of Golang and Odin on stream and on videos. If you want to have more Odin videos, like I'm not a specialist of Odin. I just can do stuff in it. But if you want more videos about it, let me know in the comments. I will definitely provide them to you if you want that. And I will share some updates, right? And if there is some kind of a low-level linking C++ guru here that can help me fix the build, hey, just reach out to me. Happy to pay you some money so I can learn and I don't need to spend all the time, right? So that's basically it. The conclusion is, Go is a great language for backend systems, for networking. You can write some games in it as well, but the problem is once you need to go a little bit more low level, a little bit more unsafe, Go is going to block you. But that's actually something we already knew. Zig, an amazing language, an amazing tool chain, basically compiling. It's just amazing. The build system of Zig, first class, world class thing, never been done before. I really like it. But the thing is that the language is not for me. Odin, great language. A lot of cool stuff is written in it, but more on the gaming graphic side. And yeah, it's just for me, man. It's written my name. The language calls my name, man. That's what it is. And that's what we're gonna do, right? Put myself to struggle. Guys, thank you for watching this video. It's a little bit of a yap, but you guys want to know what's going on. Well, this is what's going on. Let me know what you think about it in the description. And don't forget to like and subscribe the video if you liked it, of course. But we're already at the end. So if you do not like the video, you're probably not seeing this, right? So don't forget, check the links in the description. Join the Discord community. Thank you very much for watching this video. And I'll see you soon on my live stream. Peace and love.